Hello guys, welcome back to my class. So today we are going to learn about mitochondria. This is how a mitochondria looks. It has lot many structures that we'll be discussing in the further video. Now, what's here to learn about mitochondria is that we'll be dealing with the characteristics, the functions and the significance. Let's come to discovery. Who discovered this? When did it happen? When did it happen? And who named it as such, like mitochondria? So this was started way back in 1890 when a German pathologist, Richard Altman, discovered this organelle. So initially he did not name it as mitochondria, he named it as bioblast. Now bioblast is a terminology used for any structure that has a granule of protoplasm that is thought to be capable of growth and self-reproduction. So he named it as bioblast. Then later on in 1898, Carl Benda, a German physician, he named it as mitochondria, which is derived from two words, that is mitos, the thread, and chondrion means the granule. So this is a structure that has a granule and thread like structures. So seeing those structures, he named it as mitochondria. Now let's look into the characteristic. This mitochondria is popularly known as the powerhouse of the cell because the power or the energy is provided mostly by the mitochondria to the entire cell, and this facilitates many activities and functions that a cell can perform. So the shape is cylindrical or sausage like, just you saw in the diagram above, and the size varies somewhere between 0.2 to 1 micrometer in diameter and 1 to 4.1 micrometer in length. Talking about membrane, this membrane is double layered. It has two layers, that is outer layer and the inner layer. Now the outer layer is smooth while the inner layer consists of many infoldings, those are called cristae, and that divides the lumen into many compartments. Let's look into the diagram and let's understand what are these cristae and what are this inner membrane or outer membranes. Now see, looking into the outer membrane, the outer membrane is smooth and has no much structures. It's just smooth and plain. While the inner membrane, it has many infoldings. These infoldings are called cristae, and the cristae, they give rise to larger area volume, and these cristae inside this forms compartments have a fluid that's called matrix, and this matrix plays a very important role because many organelles are residing inside them, the DNA, the FN particles, and then many more granules. Now let's look into the functions are, it is a site of aerobic respiration. Talking about aerobic respiration, these provide the cellular kind of respiration into the cell, and the energy it produces or it facilitates is in the form of ATP. Now energy, while talking about energy, this has to be noted that this mitochondria plays a major role in the photosynthesis. Now this photosynthesis, when provided, these mitochondria, they break down the big molecules into smaller or simpler ones to provide them the energy, just like the ones that are seen in our digestive system. Now the organelles these have are of semi-autonomous. Now what is a semi-autonomous? These are the organelles that produce their own DNA and their own ribosomes. But these are semi in sense they are partial, that is they just provide some limited amount, rest they are still dependent on major of the protein DNA. Now these are the sites of enzymes and synthesis. Why? Because they consist of ribosomes, and ribosomes are the ones that help in the synthesis of proteins and carbohydrates. So this becomes a site of synthesis, and these also produce many enzymes. Talking about significance, now what significance it holds is that it shows a very convincing characteristic, that is apoptosis. Now apoptosis is a very common term that is seen in cells, that is this apoptosis is a characteristic that shows programmed cell death. Here what happens is the destructed ones or the worn out cells are removed, eliminated on their own, and the new ones are regenerated by themselves. As I said before, these molecules, they break down, mitochondria break down the fuel molecules. Fuel molecules are the ones that provide energy to the cell. So the fuel molecules are broken down to provide the energy, and the energy is in the form of ATP. And this also helps in cellular respiration. Cellular respiration, because this is a cell. When the respiration is facilitated by a cell, this is known as cellular respiration. And Would you like to recommend this video? If yes, that would just be so great. Thank you. I hope this helped a lot.